guys, my name is Dorothy Hewson and I'm a mind-body coach. I help people who are suffering from chronic illness and pain due to childhood trauma to heal at the emotional root of their pain so that they can live their true lives. And I'm excited to let you know that my story, my journey of how I healed from my childhood trauma is now available in a book I wrote. And it has been a couple of weeks now that it's been published, self-published, and the name of it is Breaking the Chains of Transgenerational Trauma, My Journey from Surviving to Thriving. But today I would like to talk about how when I healed my childhood trauma, how that helped me heal my chronic illness. So my story begins when I was a child, and as long as I can remember, I've always been chubby. And today I stand at 4'11", so 10, 15, 20 pounds overweight is noticeable because I just said there's like nowhere to hide it in a short little body frame. And I was that short. I was always the shortest as a kid as well. So I was always overweight. I was always chubby. And I remember going on my first diet at around age 9 or 10. My mom helped me and she cooked healthy foods for me. And she taught me, how to count calories and how to exercise. And I was able to lose the weight. But that wasn't the problem. The problem was I gained it back and I couldn't keep it off. And that was the general pattern throughout my whole life. For the next 40 years through adolescence, young adulthood, I could always I got to the point where I didn't like how much weight I had gained, and then I would go on another diet. So I've been on all kinds of different diets, you name it, I've done it, and I have lost a lot of weight over the years. But it was this pattern of losing the weight, gaining a little bit more, losing it, gaining a little bit more, losing not quite as much, but at a weight where I was comfortable, and then gaining more, and then losing not quite as much and gaining more. So over the years, over the decades, my weight continually just went up and up. But I was always still able to lose some of it, quite a bit of it actually, and then feel healthy for a little while. But that all ended when I hit menopause. And once I hit menopause, I was not able to lose it anymore. So I just kept gaining and gaining and gaining. And that's when I developed my chronic illness. At age 50 something or so, I'd go into my doctor's annual visit, and my doctor would tell me, you need to lose weight. You need to lose weight. You have type 2 diabetes. You have high blood pressure. You have insulin resistance. You have fatty liver disease, what doctors call all those put together metabolic syndrome. And there's no cure. It's a chronic illness, and you need to lose weight. And I was trying very hard to lose weight, and I just couldn't lose it anymore. So I was pretty heartbroken and felt pretty helpless, and like there was nothing I could do except start taking medication. So around the same time, I was also starting to see a therapist for the first time. And that story, again, it's a long story, but I've written it all down in my book if you want to read about how I ended up in therapy, because I didn't know that I had post-traumatic stress disorder, but I did. And I started to heal. As I started to work with my therapist, I started to heal from my childhood trauma. And for me, that was sexual abuse. And it happened between the ages of 6 and 11. And it happened from several different perpetrators. So it wasn't just one event. And in my childlike thinking, in my young mindset, I started to just feel like there was something wrong with me that was attracting the abuse. And maybe it was something I was doing. Maybe it was something that my perpetrator saw in me that was like a target. I was targeted somehow, but I didn't know why. I didn't know what exactly it was that was causing this abuse to happen over and over again by different people. And so I started to worry, and I didn't have any control over it. If I knew what it was, then I could fix it, or I could stop doing whatever it was that I was doing. But I didn't know. So I had no control over doing anything that would keep me safe. But as a child, one thing that I did have control over was what I ate. And I discovered very quickly that carbs and junk food and sweets helped me feel better. It helped me lower my anxiety and my worries. It comforted me when I ate sweets and junk food. And so that was how I learned to lower my anxiety. And then as I put the weight on and got chubby and the layers of fat surrounded my body, I felt safe. I felt like I could hide and I could stay invisible behind these layers of fat. So the two ways that I dealt with that not knowing to keep me safe were to eat sweets, to self-soothe and self-comfort myself, and then to gain weight to protect myself. So what happened when I lost the weight is my little inner child, little 6-year-old Dorothy, who was scared, got triggered. And my body went into survival mode and just overtook my behavior. And what's more important, to survive, to live, or to get healthy and look good? Survival is more important. So the survival mode of what I went into, and when I went into survival mode, it overtook my desires to be healthy and at a lower weight. And I would start eating again. I would start immediately after I lost that weight, I would start eating again. Because what happened was people noticed me. And they said, "Oh, you look good. You've lost weight. You look really good. Good for you. Congratulations." And they were just being kind, and we all do it. But I got triggered by being seen. And I immediately started eating again, the carbs and the sweets, and that helped my anxiety. It helped calm me down. It helped me self-soothe. And then as I put the weight back on, I began to feel safe again because the weight protected me from the possibility of another attack. So in therapy, I learned to soothe myself directly without food. I learned how to go inward and help myself self-soothe. And I also learned how to protect myself directly without gaining the weight. Now, this didn't happen quickly. It didn't happen through one magical session. It happened for me. I healed over a period of several years. That seems like a long time, but the good news is it didn't take decades. So it took decades, right, to develop my chronic illness, which was diabetes type 2. But it didn't take decades to heal. It did take several years for me. And the thing is, it just takes baby steps. It takes baby steps, and the healing process does look very similar to the slow progression into illness and sickness, in that I got better and I relapsed, or I got triggered, or I had a panic attack. I got a little better, and each time I got a little better because I learned how to recover. I learned how to recover each time, and so each time I got a little healthier and a little more secure, a little more self-confidence, I developed more love for myself each and every time I made a mistake or I relapsed. And today I still get triggered. It's just the journey of living our lives here. It's not a complete straight trajectory up into achieving perfection. It's this pattern. It's the same pattern of growth that is kind of an up and down, but each time I recover and I learn something about why I made the mistake or why I relapsed, and I get a little better. I let it get a little stronger. I get a little more secure, and I go a little bit higher towards healing. So it takes baby steps, little baby steps, and how I teach my clients is to start with 1 minute of slow, deep breathing a day. And the key is daily. The key in all that, what I just said, is daily. Because if you can become consistent and daily, that's with whatever baby step, but we start with just 1 minute a day of slow, deep breathing. It builds compoundly. It builds, just like those of you who know finance, compounded interest builds little by little by little by little. And it does get you to the point, to the place of healing and better health in the long run. And it's effective. The big changes that we go for a lot of the times don't last. So what lasts is itty bitty little baby steps that build, and that's where we start. And the reason I start my clients with the slow deep breathing is, again, that's where we have our control. Because when we're triggered or we go into that survival mode, we can't stop it. It happens really fast, and it just overtakes our body and our brain, and it's not stoppable at that point. But the one thing that we do have control over is our breath. We can slow our breath down and just take a deep breath. We can do that. And that builds. That's the baby step that will get us into that healing pathway that has that effect, that calming effect on our nervous system and on our fears. So I have a free gift that you can go to my website and download. It's called the 4 Breath Rhythms for Healing. Just go to my website, which is my name, www.dorothyhewson.com. Go to the home page and then scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see a box that says 4 Rhythm Breaths for Healing. And you just put in your email, and you'll receive a PDF where it describes the 4 breaths plus 4 little audio files where I will lead you through and teach you how to do these breaths. So go ahead and do that, and that's all you need. You just have to start with 1 minute a day of slow, deep breathing, as long as you can do it every day. That's the key. And I'd like to maybe lead you in a little how to slow deep breathe 101. You just gently breathe in your nose, bring it all the way down into your belly, fully fill your lungs, and then exhale gently out your mouth. And so it's like this. That's it. In your nose, Bring it all the way down into your belly. Even push your belly out a little bit, and then slowly and gently out your mouth. And a way that you can remember it in your nose and out your mouth is just pretend that you have a cup of hot chocolate, and you breathe in to smell that delicious, warm, hot chocolate smell, fully filling your lungs, and then out your mouth to cool it off because it's too hot to drink. So that's a nice way of remembering in your nose, deep down into your belly, and out your mouth. And you can also say things to yourself like, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Set your timer. Before you know it, 5, 6, 7 breaths, and the minute will be up. And then you have succeeded. And you're like, yay, I did it. And what your brain will reward you with that feeling of accomplishment, of success. I did it. And you get that shot of serotonin and dopamine, or those oxytocin, the good feeling, the happy feelings that your brain will reward you with because you accomplished your goal. And that's why we keep that baby step or that bar really low, so that you can feel successful every day, every day, every day. If you can't do it every day, that's okay. Do what you can every day. Something that you can do, that you can succeed at. Maybe it's 3 breaths a day that you can do and continue to do every day. If not, go down to 1. And then you just, that's your baby step. You start wherever you're at. As long as you're consistent, it will compound and grow. So that's it for today. You can also remember to pick up my book at Amazon. And take care.